I'm feeling good.
𝒲𝒶𝓎 made a tweet saying that he thinks that people who are extremely African looking are the ones who get picked for a lot of modeling jobs. Now, I kind of agree to an extent, but can we just talk about how African Americans and Africans don't even look that different? A lot of African Americans look extremely
Africans been cosplaying black Americans for so long, they forgot how they look. Because when was the last time you seen a black American look like this, right? There's no black Americans that look like this. I don't even need to know his name. I don't even need to hear him speak. I know he's African. And let's not talk about the tribal Africans, the ones that's in their natural form, that's not modernized, right? When the last time you seen a black American look like this? And I'm gonna keep going. Here's another picture. Here's another one. And another one. I mean, bro, when y'all are not playing dress up, black American dress up, it's easy to spot y'all. Now, I give this girl credit. She's a gorgeous African woman, but I could still tell that she's African. Y'all do not look like black Americans. And for y'all to say that, if it was a white person that say all black people look the same, that's kind of like racist. Just like me saying if all Asians look the same. They will be offended by that.
Because they listen, please stop referring to yourself as African American. That pan-Africanism, that whole movement to unify black Americans with Africans, listen, that's a hoax. They want a destiny swap with us. They want to take our culture and our dollars and take it back to Africa. You see what they did with the Essence Festival. If y'all keep feeding into this narrative that we are all the same, they are brothers and sisters, what's going to end up happening is when it comes time for reparation for what our ancestors went through, not theirs, the ones that they sold, not theirs, what's going to happen is they're going to send black Americans reparations over to Africa. And they are not our friends, they are not our allies, and I hope y'all can realize this and wake up.
I will never understand this whole beef with African Americans and Africans. I will never understand this beef because, like, as an African, I respect and I love African Americans. I respect and I love African Americans. Do y'all understand? African American culture has literally spread throughout the whole world.
I'm gonna be for real with you. The beef is one-sided. Us American black folks be minding our own business and we just be catching unnecessary strays by people that be having the American black aesthetic. Especially the sisters. These African girls get on here, the eyelashes, the makeup, the 30-inch bust downs, trying to tell us that they not black, and they get mad when people mistake them for being a black woman. And then it's always, oh, y'all don't have no history, yada yada black, y'all call yourself colored in Africa, but we be trying to tell y'all that is a racial term in America, and it be a whole lot of unnecessary shit. We got brought to America against our own will, and we had to make do with what we got here. And ironically, us doing that, we are the main character. Our culture is what runs the world. And it just be so hard for people to accept it. Like, it's cool. It's cool.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it. The only modicum of success that Africans get is when they cosplay as us.
Big video. I'm actually going to teach you how to speak. This is part 2. The first phrase is, what it do. What it do. That's how you would say it. The emotion of anger. I'm going to give you a couple of phrases that conveys the emotion of anger. Sweet. That's all you is, boy. You sweet. You sweet, boy. What's good? Now in hood, the pronunciation would be, what's good? But then if I say, bro, you tripping, dog? My tone and my voice completely brings out a different kind of meaning for this specific phrase. Now you was tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
We need to talk about the rise in Black American nationalism and the Black American nationalist to white supremacist pipeline. Yes, white supremacist. So firstly, we've seen the 𝒲𝒶𝓎 tweet that's been resurfacing, and in response, I've seen like quite a few Black Americans make videos about that and say that you can always tell an African apart from an African American, y'all are not like us, etc., etc. And before I even get too deep into that, I really want to ask you guys, what is the purpose of making that distinction? Why are you guys fighting so hard to make this distinction in 2025? Don't tell me that is reparations, because that's a really stupid answer. And just to speak to that point, Africans are very diverse looking people. Yes, there are people you can look at them and tell they're African, just like you can look at some people and tell, oh, okay, that's a Black American person. But if you go and get Africans who were born and raised in America or who moved to America at a very young age, you probably will not be able to tell. Most of you cannot, because people can't tell with me. It's literally not until you say something or until somebody sees your last name that they're like, oh. And that honestly kind of brings me to my second point of this whole thing of Africans are cosplaying Black Americans. I don't really think you guys understand how silly you sound when you say this at times, but I think it really does speak to sometimes how Black Americans, when it comes to this particular subject, some of y'all can be a little bit narrow-minded in your thinking, because what do you mean we're cosplaying? If you're born and raised in a country, you're gonna have the mannerisms of people in that country.
Black Americans, do you hear this? Why do a lot of Black immigrants want to be Black Americans so bad? What is the issue with Black Americans saying that they are not Africans and they are different groups of people? I told you all that a lot of Black immigrants don't like Black Americans delineating because they benefit off cosplaying as Black American. When they come here to the United States of America, on top of getting immigrant benefits, many of them have different grants that assist them in achieving the American dream. A lot of them come here and write down African American and Black American on paper. She said Africans and Black Americans. Why are you making the distinction? Don't say reparations, because that's a stupid answer. I beg your pardon. Why is reparations a stupid answer when Black Americans been fighting for reparations before you even came over here? You see how disrespectful they are? You claim reparations by lineage, not through blackness. Saying reparations is an answer. It's a valid answer. That's all that has to be said when you want to bring up a reason why. There are many other reasons why when we're talking about culture. We don't want you co-opting our culture. I did many videos. In some recent videos, there were some Black immigrants saying that they are first generation Black American. What is that? Why do Black immigrants like this pretend like they don't see other Black immigrants trying to co-opt Black American culture? But saying reparations isn't a good enough answer. Why isn't that a good enough answer for you? The better question is, why do you want to be seen as Black American? If Black Americans say, I'm not Dominican, I'm not Jamaican, I'm not Haitian, I'm not Ghanaian, I'm not Nigerian, I'm not African, me no African, what's wrong with Black Americans making that distinction? That's the better question. Why do Black immigrants want to be seen as Black American? If I'm not African, what is the problem with saying I'm not African and you're not me? What is the issue? So she want to come over here in Black American spaces and say you can't say what you're not in the land you built. Why? That's the better question. Now, anyone that knows 𝒲𝒶𝓎 knows that he's into African spirituality, African religion. So he wasn't insulting Africans, but what happens is people think that Black Americans and other Black people, because it wasn't just about being Black American, it was about just having a certain look, that they don't have an identity, right? Black Americans, they want to blur the lines of distinction. God forbid you have an identity that's not centered around being African. Do you hear what she's saying on the flip side? Do you hear the messaging? Why can't you say you're not African and they are not you? What is the issue? See, Black Americans, you got to understand, people are having a stance that is pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism serves no purpose in the United States of America because we are not governed by Africa, nor do all Black Americans or Black people, for that matter, anchor themselves in being African. So you don't have the same goals. If you want to be a pan-Africanist, maybe you should go to Africa. Because the people in the United States of America paved the way for you to be here. Immigration Act of 1965. Advocating for immigration. Why don't they want you to have an identity? She hoisted up her camera to tell Black Americans they should not say that they are not African. Why? That is the question. That is the cosplaying. She doesn't understand why Black Americans are saying you're cosplaying. They're saying you're cosplaying because you won't allow, well, you don't have the power, but you don't want Black Americans to say that they are not African. So that means you want to be Black American because you don't want that distinction made. You do not want delineation to work. She's talking about an FBA to white supremacist pipeline because you want to have your own identity and culture. Think about the psychology of what she's saying. Why do these Black immigrants hoist their camera up to say things like this? I made several videos on my page. There was some Black immigrants saying that they were first generation Black Americans. How are you a first generation Black American? There was 2 immigrants on my page who said that. There were immigrants. Don't act like y'all haven't heard immigrants saying that they are African American and Black American. And then when you say you're not Black American or African American, they're like, why aren't I Black American? Y'all are cosplaying. That's called cosplaying. You understand what I'm saying? Do not let immigrants like this make you feel any type of way. They can't benefit when you delineate. So that's why they don't like what's going on. And guess what? It's just not FBA. All black Americans are seeing this. Put it on notice.
Non-black people. The reason why y'all get so much smoke from black Americans, it is your attitude towards us, not the other way around. See, when you say things like, hey, you're just African, stop saying that you're from somewhere else. So you want me to discount my mama, my daddy, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, all those people that were on this soil that did amazing things. So discount all of them for an imaginary place on Africa that I don't even know where it came from, if I came from it at all. That doesn't even make any sense. And to keep saying that over and over again, and I'm gonna tell you why it's so promoted on social media. It's not because all Africans feel that way. They want black Americans to feel this way. Africans don't give a shit whether or not we're African or not. They only prop up the people who are actually gonna say it, and they're getting paid for it most of the time because they don't want black Americans to have an affection or a love for this soil. I don't understand why people are not getting that. But anyway.
Black Americans don't have no culture. Why is the YNs over in South Africa wearing Timbs and sagging their pants? If black Americans don't have no culture, why do I see South African women with their edges swooped? Where did you get edges swooped from? Who have you seen swoop their edges? If black Americans don't have no culture, it should be no reason why y'all over there wearing Jordans in the mud huts.
Why would she say
Welcome to Cosplaying as Black Americans, Jamaican edition. I'll give my spiel after the video. Check this out.
That Jamaicans don't necessarily say I'm black or I'm this or I'm that. They will first and foremost say I am Jamaican. Why is that?
Jamaicans will readily say I am a Jamaican, but hesitate to say I am black or identify with any of the movements globally. Whenever something happens that is a racial incident, the Jamaicans can identify with it, but it's not the same thing as living every day with a consciousness of blackness.
That Jamaican lady said they don't even identify with black movements globally. Not only in America, globally, they don't identify with black movements. So this just shows you that they wear this black identity, they cosplay this black identity whenever it's something that's impacting them personally. Particularly, they'll identify as black, long as they're benefiting from it or they're impacted by it personally. Other than that, they're Jamaican. And you can't just wear these identities, these cultural identities, like they're t-shirts, like they're clothes in your closet. Like, okay, today, Thursday, Sunday, I'm gonna put on my black shirt over my Jamaican identity. You can't just do that. And that's why this is cosplaying, because there's real black Americans out here that don't hop in and out of their identity. Hop in and double dutch in and out of their cultural identity. If we go to Jamaican, we still black Americans. If you go to African, it'll be black Americans in Africa. You just don't take off your cultural identity whenever it's beneficial to you. There's one more part of this video. I'm gonna come back and close it out. Check this out.
Why is it then that Jamaicans get upset when someone like Donald Trump says Kamala Harris turned black?
Jamaicans would get upset because it is out of order for anyone to determine that you can't say who you are in the world.
Donald Trump may not have the right verbiage, but he was just saying that she was cosplaying. And the lady just stated, the Jamaican lady, like, who are you to tell them who they can identify as? Like, this is
I love to play soccer, make music for show, and dance. That's it for real.
All right, why did you join Chop Love?
Shit, who
I joined Chop Love.
I want to be free, but yeah. Let's stop. I think.
Why did you join Chop Love?
It's 2025. Who don't want to find love? That's why I joined. I'm looking for my heart.
Rolling slow with the sun on my face. Palm trees waving like they're part of the race. Concrete whispers.
Internationally, but at the same time downplaying the relevancy and significance that they've done.
Your point of I'm finishing.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. All right, go ahead.
Your point is correct. You know why? Because we have to benefit from you because you took away from us in the first place.
White people or black people?
Huh?
Oh my God!
America.
What do you mean? We're black. Black Americans. How did black Americans take anything from Africa? Thought you were gonna finish me. What happened?
How did you didn't talk about Americans?
Yeah,
in general.
yeah, but we're
Talking
talking about the effects that Africans are having on black Americans.
I already had the effect.
We're talking about black Americans, right? How did black America affect Africa? We gave you guys the civil rights situation that completely changed the way people look at y'all at this moment in time. We showed that it's possible for black people internationally to be civilized, educated, and highly devoted to being the most highest of successes, right? We came from, now when we sit down and look at it, like, okay, you guys cosplay black Americans, right? Fact. But then y'all downplay the significance and the power that we've constructed in America. That's crazy to me. Think about that.
Okay.
That's wild.
Okay.
So why? Like, why don't you have a problem with that? Like, yo, these guys literally carried us on their back.
It's framed around the American experience and identity, right? So much so that, like, literally, even I must have been in Morocco with my girl, and to kind of get my attention, they're like, "Hey, Jay-Z, hey this, hey that," and it's like, because the idea of blackness is, or at least Western blackness, whatever, right? In pop culture, is these black American figures, you know? So it's like, when people hear these voices or see these people that aren't representations of blackness that they've seen in the media, which is its own messy thing, because even that is like an exaggeration.
It's an exaggeration, but it's a way of like almost commodifying like blackness into one thing where like blackness isn't rigid. Blackness is very much all-encompassing.
And that's the scariest part about the commodification of black American identity, right? It's gotten to the point where some people align so much with that commodification, that like dejected, like disconnected idea of black American identity that, you know, white supremacy is putting out, the white media is putting out, right? That they look at other black people and go, nah, you're not black because you're not this commodified idea that I'm trying to adhere to.
Because even the idea of American blackness, like America, like it's regional. Like somebody from Louisiana isn't the same as somebody from
Hood is a sublet from AAVE. AAVE, like I said before, stands for African American Vernacular English, and Hood is just a dialect that derives directly from AAVE. And so today, I'm going to show you how to speak Hood. Let's jump right in. Number 1, Hood idioms. The first phrase is run me my fade. Run me my fade. Now this is how you would say it in Hood. Run me my fade. Run me my fade. Run me my fade. Now before I show you exactly how to say it, let me explain the meaning of this specific phrase. The meaning is when someone actually wants to settle conflict or fight. This could be physical fighting. It could also be used in terms of playing a game. Like let's say if I'm playing a game with my friend and I'm trying to beat him, I would say, yo, hey bro, run me my fade, man. Run me my fade. Meaning that let's settle this conflict right now in the game. I hope that makes sense.
Morning, Charlie, let me buy you coffee so you can feel good and you start with your day. Tell me what you want, cappuccino or latte or a hot chocolate. I don't mind what you say. Let me take you Starbucks, cause only $5. 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 Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, shorty, I'm on my way. I got the 2 coffees, one for you and next day. It's good to see me like that cause I had the Starbucks. I didn't pay too much, it cost only $5. Black coffee with the sugar, you know I like that. All I'm missing now is good girl with a big hat. If you're the right one, let me take you Starbucks.
Africans trying to impress Chinese masters cosplaying black American culture. Now who them people saying Africans invented rap again?
才能去，你不知晓，休要在。这个世界和没有发现交朋友，让一个人长大，那么是马上就救。那未必是就危险，莫让那地光芒火，叫你做事人在做，是这样心情放纵，意义一样是味道，是心动来。了解的那些不被列击败，所想颁奖看见梦，讲到剪彩，发现旧的收尾草要弄菜。
南北下南，左西右东，东南东北，西北西南，步步高升，八方来财，四海为家，家兴旺，万事可乐，千事吉祥，万事如意，顺风顺水。
Africans are cosplaying Black Americans. I don't really think you guys understand how silly you sound when you say this at times, but I think it really does speak to sometimes how Black Americans, when it comes to this particular subject, some of y'all can be a little bit narrow-minded in your thinking because
every time I say I'm from Rwanda, they're interested, but they don't know much or they are not aware of Rwanda. But sometimes I try to pretend I'm from the US and they are so like excited. They want.
The man to beat.
So I stayed low, being broke, never so I say no. Feeling life rocking more shows, so I left back all the post souls. And the bread to me here dough. Shout out to my negative OD, so you better play me loco. I get love, can be loco. I see my life, then I live my life. You go to hell or you still survive. Pray to pass, I don't pray to die. All my niggas said I did it.
What's your name?
Aisha.
What's your African name?
Yetunde.
What does that mean?
Mother has returned.
Where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Guinea.
What's your American name?
My name's Toby. Call me T Breezy. Yeah.
What's your African name?
Luatubiloba.
What does that mean?
It's Gordy's beak.
What's your name?
Daisy.
What's your African name?
Danesi.
What does that mean?
Sunday boy.
Where are you from?
Accra, Ghana.
What's your name?
Daniel.
What's your African name?
Oluchukwu.
What does that mean?
It means the big old guy, you know me, the big old guy.
Where are you from?
America are not trying to be Americans. We're surviving in a country that forces you to adapt or get left behind. Have you ever heard of assimilation? You think we're cosplaying because you see us speaking English? We're not wearing our tribal clothing? Every immigrant group does it. You think the Chinese are eating duck feet at lunch? No. You think Italians came here and didn't switch it up? The difference is when we go home, yes, we become who we've always been. The language switches, the mannerisms come back, the food, the music. And let's be honest, most of us are code switching for survival. Because if we came to school eating fufu or smelling like palm oil, y'all would have laughed. Y'all been laughing. We been African booty scratchers. We been go back to the jungle. So whatever you've been taught about us, please unlearn it. Because I made a post very unprovoked. And then all of these people came for me because I said Africans are the first people. And I wasn't saying it just because I so happen to be African. Don't fight me, fight history. Don't confuse survival with imitation. We know who we are. We're not trying to tell y'all, come on, find who you are, but don't disrespect it because your grandparents were also lied to. We didn't erase your identity. We're still learning to hold on to ours while walking through customs and racism that is being passed on by our own people. So let's clear this up. We are not cosplaying. We're doing what every group does, adapting, surviving, blending in without disappearing.
Black Americans, I'm going to get straight into it. We got some things to talk about. I got to consult with you know who. Here we go. Cerebro.
Eddie, I'll be here. What's on your mind today? Anything specific you want to dive into or just exploring some new ideas? Let me know.
Yes, I want to talk about Black Americans. Black Americans are living in the variable of the United States of America that they built and were already over here pre-slavery. Black immigrants come to the United States of America and Black Americans are finding issue sometimes with Black immigrants because they have been caught cosplaying in the eyes of many Black Americans. What is cosplaying as Black American?
That's a really interesting topic, and there's definitely a lot of nuance to it. When people talk about cosplaying as Black American, they're usually referring to the idea that some Black immigrants might adopt elements of Black American culture, history, or even struggles without fully understanding or acknowledging the unique lineage and experiences of Black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved here. It can feel like a form of cultural appropriation or erasure, which is why it can be a sensitive issue. It's definitely a conversation that brings up a lot of important questions about identity and solidarity.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples. If black immigrants come to the United States of America and start calling themselves Black American, that's one. If they try to incorporate their culture into Juneteenth, which is historically a Black American festivity, there's also another festivity called the Essence Fest that's legendary in the Black American community. If they come in and incorporate their cultures into these events, is that considered cosplaying in a way?
I can definitely see why that might be viewed that way by some folks. When black immigrants participate in events like Juneteenth or Essence Fest, it can sometimes feel like the unique cultural experiences and histories of black Americans are being blended or overshadowed by other cultures. It can feel like there's a loss of that distinct black American identity. On the other hand, some might see it as a form of solidarity and shared celebration. It really depends on perspective and intent, but it's definitely a conversation worth having to ensure that everyone feels respected and understood.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So for black Americans who feel as though black immigrants, when they're in their home in the United States of America, they have their own culture. When they go back to their lands that they immigrated from, they have their own culture. Black Americans, many now, are taking the stance that we don't want to share our culture. And to share our culture, they're viewing it as cosplaying or cultural encroachment. What do you think?
I think that perspective definitely comes from a place of wanting to preserve and honor the unique history, struggles, and contributions of black Americans. There's a deep-rooted cultural identity that's been built over centuries, and it makes sense that there's a desire to protect that from being diluted or overshadowed. At the same time, it can open up conversation about how different black experiences around the world can find common ground and solidarity while still respecting those unique cultural identities. It's definitely a complex but important dialogue to have.
Okay. Have you ever heard of black immigrants migrating to the United States of America and writing down Black American on paper for benefits?
Yeah, that's definitely something that has come up in conversations, especially around identity and classification. Sometimes black immigrants might identify as Black American on official forms because the categories can be kind of broad and it might be the closest option available. But it can also lead to some misunderstandings or even tensions, especially if there are resources or benefits intended specifically for the descendants of enslaved people in the United States. It's definitely a nuanced issue, and it highlights the importance of understanding and respecting those different identities and experiences.
Okay, I'm gonna come right back. Black Americans, we're back. Cerebro.
Hey, I'm right here. If there's anything else on your mind, or if you want to dive back into that conversation.
Yeah, I want to dive back into it. So if black immigrants write down that they're Black American, or if they go around saying these nuanced ethnic terms for Black Americans, is that seen as cosplaying?
It can definitely be seen that way by some folks, especially if it feels like those unique cultural and historical experiences of black Americans are being overlooked or blended in a way that don't fully respect the distinct identity. Those nuanced terms really carry a lot of meaning and history, and it's important that they're used with an understanding of that history. So yeah, for some people, it can definitely come across as a form of cosplaying or cultural encroachment.
Thank you. Now, the young woman who was speaking, she talked about assimilating into American culture. But the topic is about Black American cosplaying, so you see how they changed the narrative. Assimilating into American USA culture may be eating hot dogs and hamburgers, going to sports games, things of that nature. Oftentimes, I also want to say that a lot of Black immigrants were mistaking white American culture and Black American culture, because a lot of knowledgeable white Americans and Black Americans had to let them know that the culture you just think is American USA culture and white culture, Black Americans created a lot of these things, i.e. Memorial Day, Decoration Day. A lot of the things you take part in that's just American culture, Black Americans created, right? So we're talking about Black immigrants saying that they're Black American or African American, or infusing your culture into our events for us. That is cosplaying. You understand what I'm saying? Now, is it me, or are they just not listening to what Black Americans are saying? Riddle me this. Now, on her page, I believe she's from the Congo. If you go to her page, she has a Congo flag. She doesn't have a USA flag. Now, all Black Americans do not like the USA flag, but I find it really weird that a lot of Black immigrants come to the United States of America because you came here for something to benefit, and then you don't even carry the USA flag. So you like to talk about USA assimilation versus Black American cosplaying. Well, you're not even assimilated into USA culture. You don't even have a USA flag. So are you in the USA or are you in the Congo? Because if you're in Congo and you're talking about USA business, that's very weird. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Like, a lot of Black immigrants will come here and talk against USA, the USA flag. I remember when Beyonce came out with her album, and a lot of Black immigrants were saying, why is Beyonce patriotic? Because she's an USA American citizen, like Black Americans are. You understand what I'm saying? So she's talking about assimilating into American USA culture, but she doesn't even have a USA flag. She is still repping Congo, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I would just hush, because if you don't have a USA flag and you aren't proud to be a USA citizen, then just say you came over here to assimilate and leech, which would be a difference. If I came to leech, I would just be quiet. Black Americans, let me make it make sense. Here's the stance. Black Americans were never made a protected class. Thus, other black people can come here and co-opt and cosplay, and there is no repercussions like other groups of people. Black Americans are seeking to become a protected class. That's reparations, restorative justice, and specific policies for Black American lineage. You claim that in a court of law, lawfully, legally, by lineage, not through blackness. A lot of you guys are in direct violation of our movement. The variable is the United States of America. That is what we're fighting. That is a receipt. Your variable of origin is not the United States of America. This particular lady is talking about assimilating into USA culture, but we were talking about cosplaying as Black American. But be that as it may, that's a good example, because the variable is what we're fighting for. Your variable of origin isn't over here. Now, in your bio, you have a Congo flag. That means you're anchored in being Congo. There's no USA flag, but you're talking about assimilating into USA culture. Are y'all riding with me? Are you riding with me? So when Black Americans are talking about Americanness, being an American, and the things we want in the variable we built the USA, it seems like you just hoisted up your camera to have some get back at Black Americans. So you have your Congo flag, and you love your Congo culture. I don't see no USA flag, but somehow Black Americans can't delineate and say they love their USA culture. They love being Black American, American Indians, Indigenous Americans, you know the deal. But listen, you can have your Congo flag. I don't see no USA flag talking about assimilation, but Black Americans can't have their identity, but you can still have your identity while you're mixing up Black American cosplaying and assimilating into USA culture. You see how they do? Trying to change the narrative, semantics. I expect any immigrant who wants to talk about Americanness and being Black American to at least have a USA flag. Because if you don't have it, that means you just came to leech as a Congo woman. Or interject the flag, put the flag there, whatever that is. You came to leech as that. You didn't come to assimilate in USA culture. Very interesting how you guys play games. You hear what Black Americans are saying every day, that they want to become a protected class and have their own culture and lineage, self-preservation. But you get to practice self-preservation by just having your Congo flag in your bio, no USA flag. You see how they do? Trying to destiny swap. We've been talking about destiny swapping. Very interesting. I'm gonna say that again. She get to have her Congo flag, no USA flag, but we're talking about USA business, trying to become a protected class. She has something to say, talking about assimilating into USA culture, but there's no USA flag. She just has pride in being a Congo woman. But you can't have pride in being a Black American. You cannot want to become a protected class, but she can migrate here and get immigrant benefits. Wait, if she's in the USA, because that would be very weird if she's in the Congo with that Congo flag in her bio in Black American business. Very interesting. What do you guys think? Did I make some type of sense here? Yeah, y'all really don't know what you be talking about.
Do Africans want to be like African Americans? The answer is yes. I was going through my Google Photos recently and come and see the things I found. This is specimen 1. This is the first example I found. I had to ask myself, why were we dressed like this? The only reason I could think of was because for the past how many years we had been watching 106 and Park. This is the influence. Is that not T.I. on the right? Is that not T.I.? My boy, his name is Toby. That's why are we dressed like fake chains? But we did not give a fuck. We wanted to be like you guys. Many of us in this picture had never even stepped out of Nigeria before. But why are we dressed like this? So if any African ever comes to you telling you nonsense, just tell them to shut up, because this is the truth. We wanted to be like you guys. You guys are cool as fuck, so don't be listening to anybody else.
Someone asked in the comment section if Black American culture has an impact in Africa. And I've been hearing some Black Americans saying that Africans don't F with them. And I'm here to talk about it today. Growing up in Africa, we were literally obsessed with Black Americans and their culture. And it was so funny because we had limited encounters with Black Americans. Like, we were obsessed just by seeing them on TV, hearing their songs. We were obsessed. And I feel like it's a kind of blood connection thing, because We had more encounters with Europeans who came in as missionaries and tourists and explorers in Africa, but we had limited encounters with Black Americans. We didn't see Black Americans that much in Africa. We only hear them on radio, we read them in our textbooks, and then also we saw them on TV. And let me tell you something. When I say obsession, every trending hairstyles that you guys have in America, Africans do it as well. When you shave your head and you give 2 lines on the side, Africans have it going on. When you keep the afro thing, Africans do it as well. When you shave and you keep Black American guys have a style where they will shave their hair and then they will remove some small hair here and here. We have it in Africa. When you move much hair here, we have it in Africa. When you push all your hair here and you leave a little behind or whatever, you take it behind, we have it in Africa. And we do it while the trend is going on. From your big baggy pants and your oversized t-shirts, wide big t-shirts that overlaps the knees, to your big jewelries, to your white bandanas of 50 Cent and Nelly and Usher, the white bandanas on the forehead and on the 2 arms, to the G-Unit 50 Cent innerwears. You know the 50 Cent innerwears? 50 Cent has this innerwear that goes with him. You know that innerwear? We have all those, we copy all those things from you guys. If you enter most homes in Africa, in my country for instance, you see calendars of Black American celebrities on the walls. We had like a calendar of Jesus Christ. We had like a calendar of the world. We have like a calendar of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have like a calendar of fruits. We have like a calendar of animals. And then we also have had so many calendars of Black American celebrities and icons. Kanye West, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Beyonce. We had calendars where you have all of these celebrities are mixed in one calendar. Then you have a calendar where you see just Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, Nina Simone, Diana Ross, all these icons, Michelle Williams. Like, we had these calendars pinned in our walls, like we nailed them on our walls. Our parents would buy them just for us to see our Black Americans. Some of us will be telling our parents we want like people will go to cities and then I don't know where they got photos of these celebrities, because anyway the internet, but they'll get them from the internet obviously, and then they'll make like calendars, magazines, and then we also wanted to keep up with pop culture in our own way. Like we wanted to know what's going on with Beyonce, with Keisha Cole, with Ashanti, all these hot stars. We wanted to know what's going on with them, and then we go and buy magazines. And in this magazine, you see a photo of Ashanti, or you see a photo of Candy. You know, Candy with her hands. When Candy stands in her photos, she always stands and put her hand on her wrist, like on her waist, like this. That's how Candy take her photos. Like, or you see Beyonce big and bold, Keisha Cole, and then we'll buy these magazines. They usually are not cheap, but because we see Black Americans on the cover, we're gonna buy them. And then in this magazine, they're gonna be talking about other things. Then they're gonna allow a small portion towards the end of the magazine to talk about celebrity drama. And when we buy them, we're gonna read them. And in our opinion, we were keeping up with the pop culture. We were keeping up. We were there. Like, that what happened? That Ashanti wrote songs for J-Lo. That, like, all the tea. We were reading the tea, and then sometimes we will copy this. Like maybe a friend brought the magazine to school. We will copy the tea behind our books, and then we will sometimes they'll have like lyrics of a particular Beyonce song, or a particular Kenny or 50 Cent song, or G-Unit, or Usher, or Nelly, or Mario. We will copy this behind our books, or Neo. We will copy the songs behind our books. And in this particular time, we had other trending musicians like Westlife, but we never copied their styles. We never copied their way of dressing. We never tried to talk like them. But Black Americans, we tried to do everything like them. And we didn't have encounters with them. We were just trying to copy what we saw in music videos. Talk like them. We use the N-word the way they use the N-word too. We think it's cute. In our opinion, we think it's cute. It was when I came to America that I realized that the N-word is it's not good to talk. Like, you don't use the N-word. In Africa, we use it to each other. Like, we call our friends the N-word. We think it's a cute word. I'm serious. If I'm lying, come and debunk me, Africans. We call our friends the N-word. To us, it's very cute. We like it because it's imported from Black Americans and we want to copy everything about them. So there is no way we can be this obsessed about Black Americans. Even our girls, the hairstyles of all American celebrities, they want to do them. So there's no way we can be obsessed with Black Americans to this extent and we don't like them. Trust me, most Africans get very excited when they meet Black Americans. I mean, in my case, it was like one of the best things that ever happened to me because I've made the best friends. My best friends in America are all Black Americans. I have very few African friends. I don't know why. Maybe we just clicked. I met some in public transportation and I just greeted them like, hi, I like your this. And we just became friends. And then some I met them at the metro station. Maybe they are walking at the metro. And some I met at work. And we just blended so easily. We blend with Black Americans more than any other race or any other people. They are the closest people. I mean, the culture is different, but Black Americans are the closest people that we can blend to, we can relate to. Yeah, we can't really understand their struggle or what they've been through or what they're going through or their culture, but there is something in our bloods that connect us to each other. There is always something, trust me. Like, I try to think about it. We didn't even have Apple Music, iTunes, Apple, all these things, but we listen to all Black American songs. We even know some of them word after word. So don't be surprised when you see an African singing word after word. I mean, we're developed. Africa is not like backward, like people make it seem to be. We have some development, remarkable developments in most parts of Africa. We are not in the chrome and gold or the old, how do they call it? We are the Neolithic empire. Old history, if you read history, whatever. So that narrative of Africans and Black Americans, please trash it up. Just forget about it because you want to just make something out of nothing. And those that are pushing that narrative, because my Black American friends, they love me so much and they like me around them, and I've introduced them to other African friends, and then we are just cool, we're just happy. And I also have Black American mothers on Facebook, and I be talking to them all the time. The only difference is the culture, the way that we talk. Black Americans talk like Europeans. They talk faster. We don't talk like them. You understand? But it's all love. It is love and nothing more. So stop that narrative. Yeah, Black Americans are our brothers.
I didn't know that this was something that was popular in Africa before it was popularized by African Americans. Look at the way they dress. These are all Afrobeats artists, and look how they're dressed. Is this traditional African wear? Is this something that you guys would be wearing if it weren't being popularized by African Americans? Another one. Please don't be disingenuous. Is this traditional African wear anywhere in Africa? Or was this popularized by African Americans then emulated the world over? Be genuine. But there's more. literally go on and on and on and show you, like, it's just crazy. Like, I would be here all night showing you all the examples of how Africans have engaged in cultural exchange with African Americans. Whenever Africans say we're thriving in our culture, I'm not saying you're not thriving in your culture. African culture is one of the richest, no matter what country you're from in Africa, it's some of the richest, most beautiful cultures ever to exist on this planet, and something to be proud of. And I know you thrive in those cultures. But it is grossly disingenuous for you to pretend like Africans have not engaged in cultural exchange with African Americans. It's even grosser for you to say that, oh yeah, everybody else in the world copies African Americans, but not as Africans. Not us. It's just not true. It's the most popular form of musical and artistic expression in the world. African Americans created the most popular forms of musical and artistic expression when it comes to fashion, the way you dress, the way you move. It's the most popular in the world, so of course everybody's copying it. Just because someone in Spain is copying us doesn't mean they're still not practicing their traditional cultural Spanish ways. People in Asia copy us. Doesn't mean they're not practicing the traditional Asian ways. I am in no way taking away from the continent itself, but you guys still do copy us. You would not be wearing those things. You would not be saying those things. Last time I checked, I didn't even know there were Bloods in Africa. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll check that because I could be ignorant to the facts. But this is just you being disingenuous. Completely disingenuous. The way we dress, the way we carry ourselves, the way we talk, the way we walk, our fashion, our music has hit everywhere, even the motherland. And I don't mean to be rude when I say that. It's just the facts.
As an African woman living in the United States, I have never experienced prejudice from Black Americans or African Americans, however you call yourself. Never. I came to this country and I was embraced and welcomed by them. They love me. I love them back. Like, I found my people, for real. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I found my people because they're really open-minded compared to Africans. And I've always been a very open-minded person, like very, very open-minded person. And I just felt like I didn't fit there. I didn't fit with y'all Africans. I love us though. I love it so much. Like, I love my roots. I love where I come from. But I can just with y'all to a certain extent, because certain conversations I can't have with y'all because y'all too prejudiced about things. You know what I mean? Y'all not open-minded enough for me, at least. But y'all come here in the United States with preconceived notions already. All y'all have to say about Black people in America is they're ghetto, they're this, they're that. Yeah, they might be a little ghetto, just like y'all a little ghetto over there too. Y'all need to stop acting like there's no ghetto people over there. There are ghetto people in Africa. There are ghetto people, African ghetto people in Europe as well. I come from Europe. I was born and raised in Europe. There are ghetto people all around.
Write down the zip code. That's how the address is finished. His gut feeling left him for dead like 𝒲𝒶𝓎-𝒯ℛ𝒰𝒯ℋ. You thought I'd let 2 lines back go to waste like suspenders? You got another thing coming. Now I'm a repeat offender. And sir, coin you challenger.
Use energy, cause your bars do not make you a dope contender. He's so insecure when you give him props. He expects a lecture cause his emotions tender, getting triggered by any gestures like motion sensors. He feeds off the gas.
On the internet, like my nigga, you got dressed up, dripped and fresh, took her for a movie, then a dinner next. Tried to kiss her neck to get her wet, then took her home for some lousy scissor sex. Had dinner next and took her home for some lousy scissor sex. And while you were having that post-nut cigarette, Lord, let me Facebook this big event. Hashtag is just incest. Nigga, I ain't shit.
You can't fuck with the shit I conjure. You'll be left in wonder. So you can't see the chicks, but I'm incredible too. The kid's a monster. Wait, you.
Tonight, relax. It's a one-rounder. So I hope the Josie fans don't mind if I treat this battle like Super Sport Blitz. You know, Channel 200, show you my game highlights without bringing the full clip.
It makes no sense for me to be battling you when your career's in tatters and ruins, and I could go in the Hall of Fame without ever being champ like Patrick Ewing. You've been doing this longer than me, but still show a lack of improvement. He had some whack battles, but they had it removed, and he changed his name to Chaos Theory because there's no battles to prove it.
I swear, if this young miniature Thanos snapping, then his endgame, how I disarm him just when you thought he was cooking. I'm mad. I'm mad towards your death. DJ Screw, Pimp C with the codeine. I said you're leaning towards your death.
Out of all the opponents that Lori faced, your corny made, you don't even have the bars to get Lori 8. I'm groundbreaking. You lack the foundation to keep your story straight.
Mister, they call me no please because I was on hype about guns. 2 lines later, you were letting the shit bang. You were total opposite. 2 lines later, you were letting the shit bang. You were total opposites in one round. The symbol of yin yang. Bye.
No one gives a damn about your naked grannies flying on broomsticks at night, pretending to do something evil. Bring back lost lover, penis enlargement, flyer promoting shithole of a profit. You fucking weasel. Yeah, so you can keep that crown, cause you'll never hear anyone say I wanna go to Limpopo. Not 1 in 100,000 people. But don't worry, one thing will always keep the North on point. We call it a compass needle.
Ayo, Height, you are supposed to be our top star. Our gatekeeping guardian who holds keys to all parts. But watching you getting boxed by these illegal immigrants from Botswana, I was so peeved when you lost, dog. But I guess giving a kid like you power to hold freely is flawed, cause what I mostly see is more of you being exactly like Ben 10. Just letting these aliens roam freely on your watch. See how
I've had 1 or 2 losses in my career where I tried to catch a body but dropped it because of being careless. But I never thought I should retire because my duration is endless. I've always have a good year. And now I got a foreigner to necklace.
Mother fast, your revival. See, when I dismember, just remember, it's just dismember, just dismembered. If revival is the click, then you're part of the team just in separates. If revival is the click, then you're the USB apparatus needed to get the message. The wireless mouse has just been disconnected. Whoa! See how I fly overhead? How far you
For you though, too gross, nighttime creepers. Shh, none of my troops told. Body looks untouched. Flip it over. In close inspection, they'll find gaps in the law like contractual loopholes.
Opponent, cause I ain't moved by average shit. I've been sitting on these rounds just waiting to prove to Brahm again that the Topa pedal can handle boss for any team like Mark Cavendish. Now,
if 2 times that you've 2 times someone and postpone winning, that excuse just showcases your cage persona. I mean, what else you gonna do? What else you gonna use to try to evade the karma? Cause in the 2nd of March, you were so close to being the best man, but the bitchin' you pulled out was not made of honor.
All my opponents receive a casket that is uniquely carved. You are in the presence of a god. Shout out to your homie Respect for helping you reach this far.
Atomic inbox me like, yo, beating Trevor's gonna be some impossible shit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I hear Trevor and I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hillary Banks crying on the couch after watching the shit. If it wasn't clear from the jump you were getting butted in this, then I propose accepting this was your leap of faith, because Trevor was dead long before he got to the ring.
The news guy.
At them. Yeah. Like it been in history. Everybody got their rights through us. Yeah. You go back in history, you don't see nobody else fighting them fights, getting hit with the water hoses or get the dogs. No, it was us. Everybody else got their rights off of our fight. And then they get the privileges, and then they start looking down on us like we the problem. Like,
These
nigga,
is all
what?
facts. These is all facts.
Nigga, we the reason you cracking right now. What is you talking about?
So
I think they don't like your delivery.
It's nothing
but
wrong
the
with
message
delivery.
is all a fact.
Man, this ain't DiGiorno's. I don't give a fuck about no
for sure.
delivery.
No, I agree with everything.
And this
you
ain't
said.
Burger King. You can't have it your way. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be the truth, real raw and
It's all a fact
uncut.
what you said for sure.
So how do you feel about like these up and coming or these Mexican artists or Hispanic about their new rap style, the cadence, the attire that they present themselves in front of cameras? Like, what's y'all take on that?
We know what the take is. Everything is us. Everything is us. Everything is emulated through us. The cadence, the rap style, the look, the style. They getting edge ups now. Nigga, when I was growing up, essays didn't have edge ups. They was bald, nigga.
Yeah.
Niggas are getting straight, lineups, fades, everything is us. We set the precedent from here to Africa to China to Alaska.
The world.
We set the trends around the world. Everybody's a carbon copy of us. But once they get the success, a lot of people start to try to shun us out the picture like we not the blueprint.
So
Still what? System failures and struggle? We come with customs, creativity, and the same resources your country's been surviving on since they touched our coast. Y'all are still digging into Africa for diamonds, coal, iron, and your favorite chocolate, but y'all calling us the thieves. How ironic. If anything, we're in the right to say y'all are the cosplayers.
Delusion!
You guys have
This lady from Congo is utterly insane. She initially made a video saying that she's not a cosplayer, she's just assimilating. What does assimilation, what does that mean? And how are you assimilating? Who are people going to identify you with? You're not wearing your traditional garb. You're not speaking in your traditional language, native tongue, whatever you want to call it. Why aren't you speaking with a London accent? To conflate Black American people to the government, the white government, is diabolical, is disingenuous, and it's extremely intentional. Shouts out to 𝒲𝒶𝓎. You know what you're doing. You come over here and say, we don't have culture. You think America has no natural resources? Are you insane? It's the delusion for me. Why are you here? I'm gonna say it. I don't give a fuck. This is pissing me off. And you all love to call me xenophobic and say I'm divisive. I am always only ever reacting and responding to blatant disrespect. I would never take my beautiful ass over to another country, assimilate, to be like the native people, the people that's actually there, and then talk shit about them. Why are you here, sweetheart? A broken system? How are you surviving in a broken system? Who helped to create a system in which you could even assimilate to with your black ass? Other black ass people that hail from America. How are you even able to successfully migrate here? It's because of us, sweetheart. It's because of our ancestors. We paved the way. Imagine me. I would never want to take off my Black Americanness. I don't give a fuck where I go in the world, bitch. Couldn't nobody pay me to not be me. I'm not assimilating to shit. That's how proud I am of who I am and where I come from and my lineage. I don't give a fuck where bitch, take me to Mars. I'm still gonna be this beautiful melanin rich chick from Brooklyn, motherfucking New York. Assimilate? Who you assimilating to? Y'all hate us so fucking bad. Y'all never want to give us credit and y'all talk shit thinking that you're so much better while being here. Why are you here? Go home. It is so disrespectful. I would never go to somebody's house, somebody's homeland, and talk shit about the people that I'm assimilating. What in the fucking Twilight Zone? What in the X-Files? So we cosplaying Africans, bitch. I don't wear. All right, I'm gonna go because I don't want. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. This is not about all African people. This is not about all immigrants. These are. This is specifically to the ones that disrespect us, but yet you're here with us. That is fucking bizarre. You're a weirdo, sis. Spread love is.